Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Taranto. Today, we are continuing our series about buying real estate, and it's a continuation. So the last video, we talked about the home inspection and what to expect there. And now what happens? So the home inspection is behind us. We are all excited. The condition of the house is wonderful, or we've come to a solution on things that were less than wonderful, and we're ready to move forward with the terms of the transaction into the second contract, which is called the purchase and sale. So Tom, what happens now?
Now we engage an attorney. So for many people, if you're moving to Massachusetts from another state, Massachusetts is one of 7 states that is what's called a dual contract state. So we have an offer phase and a purchase and sale phase.
Yep.
So now we've engaged an attorney, and the attorney is going to help draft the purchase and sale and make sure that your interests are protected. So for buyers, you're going to be putting up money. You've put up money into escrow with the offer. Typically, it's anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000. But now with the purchase and sale, you're going to put up 5% minus that initial deposit. So if you're buying an $800,000 house, I mean, that's $40,000 that's going to be going into escrow. And we want to make sure that in that purchase and sale, we have provisions to protect that money. Because things happen. You know, Joanne and I have been in the business now long enough where we've seen some crazy stuff happen. We've seen water, like pipes break and water houses get flooded. We've had fires on properties. And there are clauses in this purchase and sale about what will happen in the event that something happens to this house in between your offer and your closing date. So the attorney is going to walk you through all of the paragraphs so that you have a clear understanding of what you're signing. And once you're comfortable with this, one of the great things is that we continue to use technology. So we can use DigiSign to sign this, so it's all done electronically. We have ACH transfers for the money. It's seamless.
Right.
And it just makes the process a little bit easier.
Yep. So working with an attorney is generally we can give you a recommendation for an attorney that we do business with regularly. If you have your own attorney, or if you are an attorney and you want to represent yourself, that's totally fine. Generally speaking, we see both parties, buyer and seller, engage an attorney to do the purchase and sale work.
Right.
And that takes, it takes about 2 to 3 days for the attorneys to go through the contract. The first 4 pages of the contract are generally a standard form that is put out by the real estate association, and then the attorneys will attach a rider for each of their clients. And what this is this is a governing contract that takes over and supersedes the offer contract that you initially did. So there might be changes to the transaction, there might be changes to the price, there might be changes to the closing date. Generally speaking, we like to see them stay the same from when you make the offer to when you're signing the purchase and sale. But the attorney is going to work through these items with the seller's attorney, and they're going to come up with a contract that they agree upon. And then they're going to go back to their respective clients and they're going to review the contract, answer any questions. Potentially there might be another change or so. But what's great about using the technology is you can do this from anywhere.
Yes.
So if you're not local and you're buying from out of state, if you're on vacation, there is technology that can help you do this, and you don't have to be present or in person anywhere to sign the purchase and sale. The general rule is that the buyer will sign first and initiate their deposit. The earnest money deposit then joins their earnest money deposit that they made at the time of the offer. And that money is then going towards your purchase price.
Right.
So what's the purpose of earnest money deposit at purchase and sale?
I mean, the most simplest form is to say that if you wake up the next morning and it's gray out and you decide you don't want to buy the house, it is the incentive to keep you engaged in the transaction. Because if you're buying an $800,000 house and you've put $1,000 up, you could have a bad day and walk away from that. But if you wake up and you're having a bad day and you have $40,000 at risk, the likelihood of you walking away arbitrarily is pretty low. And that really is the reason for the earnest money. It's to protect the seller, because now the seller is taking the step from being in a selling mode to being in a moving mode. And they're 2 different things, because when you're selling a home, that house is gorgeous, staged up perfectly. When you're moving, you got boxes everywhere. It's chaos. because you may have 30 days to be out the door.
Yep.
And so that's really the big thing about that deposit. Now, the other thing about that deposit is it goes towards your down payment.
Mhm.
Now, if you're a 5% down buyer, you've put your entire down payment down with that purchase and sale.
Yep.
If you're a 50% buyer, then that will just be part of it when you get to the closing table. So that's an important thing to understand. And purchase and sale time is also a big milestone in the buyer's process,
Mhm.
because at this time, when you've signed that purchase and sale, you can now submit your mortgage application and get going with that piece of the process.
If you haven't already.
If you haven't already, but this, if we look at it from a traditional
Mhm.
standpoint, this is what that purchase and sale is, what kind of executes the start of that mortgage application.
Mhm.
And so that now you've committed to a property, you've committed to your lender. And what happens, just briefly, Joanne, with the lender at this time?
So the lender is going to submit all of your documents into what's called underwriting. And it's also going to be a signal once the purchase and sale is signed to send out a licensed appraiser to the property. Now, nobody has a relationship with the appraisal companies. They're organized by a third party. And so somebody will reach out to the listing agent to set up a time to come and appraise the property.
Right.
So as a buyer, you're focused on signing that purchase and sale, initiating your wire transfer, your ACH transfer, and the next piece is finalizing your mortgage.
Right.
And the way that you do that is you are 100% focused on what your loan officer is telling you they need from you at that moment. And when they ask for something, you need to give it to them. And if they ask for it again, just give it to them again.
Exactly. It's kind of like, the analogy of going on vacation. The destination is so worth it, but if
Yeah.
you're flying there, you have to get to the airport, you gotta get through security. There might be long lines.
Mhm.
They may ask you for the same thing several times.
Yeah.
Then you have to go through another thing. You get on the
Yeah.
plane, the flight starts off great, then you hit a couple of speed bumps,
Yeah.
air bumps along the way, and you're like, a little jittery. But they land, and then you're
Once
thrilled.
you get there,
and
it's worth it.
worth
So buying a home is not dissimilar to that. It's a journey. And what we are trying to do is make that journey as smooth as possible. So it's keeping you focused on what the most important things to do are after your purchase and sale is making sure that that mortgage is going. And if you're not getting a mortgage, good for you. It's a great time to contact your financial institution and set up the wire for the closing day.
So I think this was a great recap, Joanne, for people
Yeah.
about what to expect when you're signing a purchase and sale and so forth. And in the next video, we'll talk about all of the little things that go in between purchase and sale and
And
closing
closing.
day. And if you're liking our content, please subscribe to our videos. And Joanne and I want people to know that we are actively taking on new buyers for 2024. So reach out to us if you're interested in buying a home. But thank you for watching another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Taranto. Cheers.